You know, in the past, I felt like I knew what to expect when I came to visit TCL at CES, but that's kind of changed over the years. Every time I come here, I see something new that I did not expect. This year is no exception. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Caleb Dennison, and I am at TCL's booth at CES 2022, and they have a few surprises for me, which is interesting because we learn about this stuff before we come to the show, but something about actually being here and seeing it in person is revelatory, and I'm really happy to actually be here because I'm learning things about these TVs that you just can't see on paper. So let me take you through some of the big highlights at this booth today. Before we dig into it, a quick reminder to please like and subscribe this video if you enjoy the content we're putting out from CES 2022. While you're down there, do me a favor and drop me a comment. Tell me what TCL TV you are most excited to see me review in 2022. Let's talk about that a little bit. All right, now let's dig into it. I'm gonna get straight to, I think, the most exciting TV here, and that would be the X9 or X9 25 Pro. This is also known as OD Zero. Now, we heard about Vidrian a couple of years ago. Didn't really see that come to the US. Then we heard that it was going to be OD Zero, and we kind of wondered when we are actually gonna see this TV on the show floor. When is it gonna come to the US? Well, the time is right now. We're seeing it right here, and it is as exciting as I'd hoped it'd be. So basically what we're looking at here is TCL's very best mini LED backlighting technology in an 8K panel printed on glass. It is exceptionally thin profile and yet really, quite super powerful. The brightness capability of this TV is immense. What's also super impressive though is the way it is displayed. It's displayed as a showpiece. This is not just your standard TV. Take a look at the stand on this thing with a subwoofer built into the back, and you've got speakers both down at the bottom, sort of soundbar style, but also on the sides to widen the soundstage. So it is a full-on cinema experience. And like I said, it's a showpiece. It's not just a TV that you slap up on the wall, although you could wall mount this if you wanted to. This kind of deserves to be the centerpiece of your media room or your living room. It would be just as at home in either space. I love the looks of this TV. Now, it is a little pricey. TCL is known for high-value televisions where you get a lot of punch for not a lot of money. This is an expensive TV, but it is also like the ultimate flagship. TCL is saying, look, we can do super premium with the best of them, and nobody else has anything quite like this. Now, what if you want all the technical prowess, all the brightness punch and control of the backlight in an 8K mini LED TV that isn't built into that OD Zero form factor? Well, it's not officially announced here at the show, but it's right here. It's called the X11, and it's basically the guts of that OD Zero TV in a different suit of armor. And it's a more conventional looking TV, but you can see that the premium performance is there. Divorcing that supercharged, super high performance picture quality, putting it in a more familiar package really kind of hammers home what the capabilities of this TV platform are. Will this come to the US? Maybe. We'll find out. We're not going to find out here today, but it's important to know that this is on the roadmap for TCL right now. Now, OD Zero is a big thing in its own right, but it's certainly not physically the biggest TV at TCL's booth. That honor goes to the 98-inch R754. Now, don't be tricked up by the model number. R754 is part of the XL collection, which kind of stands on its own. We've talked about that a little bit in the past. What we're talking about here is a 98-inch 4K TV with conventional LED backlighting, plenty of local dimming zones, and it is, look, it's 98 inches. It's massive, and it's under $8,000. In fact, you can pre-order it on Amazon right now for like $7,800 some odd. I don't know, I don't have my phone on me right now, but it's under $8,000. That's a big deal. 98 inches of high performance 4K TV under $8,000. There's a little bit of that high value TCL performance that I was talking about earlier, and it's here at the show, and it looks fantastic. Absolutely. We reviewed an XL Collection TV before, and it was good. It was solid, but this has that wow factor that I was really looking for, and in an even bigger package. Now, what about the 8 series? Also, not really talked about in terms of TCL's press releases, but there is a new 8 Series TV here. Now it is 4K, but it's also mini LED backlit, and it is supercharged. It's got all the brightness, all the zones. It's an absolutely stellar looking TV. So I understand if you're a little confused, hey, the 6 Series is 8K. Why wouldn't the 8 Series be 4K? What can I say? It's a transitional period. Even when I asked TCL, they kind of like, yeah, you know, it's a transitional period. You know, we've got 4K sets and 8K sets, and some are high performance and some of them are in the mid-tier performance with exceptionally low pricing. TCL's got a little bit of something for everyone, I think is the message there. But if you're looking for a super high performance 4K mini LED TV at a price that you can actually stomach, I would definitely look forward to hearing more about the 8 Series in the coming months. 2 more things I need to talk to you about. And one of them is a prototype. It is not a TV, but we have to talk about this. Now, if we talk about the OD Zero and the other mini LED backlight technologies that TCL is showing right now, that is a 3rd generation of their mini LED. Remember, TCL came out and did mini LED before anybody else did. They're now looking at their 4th generation of mini LED backlighting. And what's so spectacular about that? It's ridiculously thin. Now, if you've seen any of our mini LED TV reviews, whether it's from TCL or another manufacturer, they're not particularly thin sets, and that's because there's nothing about mini LED that naturally lends itself to a thinner profile. It's still an LED backlight, it still generates heat, it still needs to be cooled down, right? It requires a little bit of space, but somehow TCL's display division has figured out how to slim this down to, get this, the OD Zero behind me is about 10 millimeters thick. This 4th generation mini LED technology is less than 4 millimeters thick. In fact, I think it's like 3.4 or 3.5. It looks like it might be an OLED TV. Now, when you look at this TV closely, you can tell it's not OLED, it's definitely mini LED. There is a backlight going on there, but the profile on this thing is ridiculously thin. And I asked, how did you do it? And guess what? TCL won't tell me. Shocker, they're not gonna share the recipe for their secret sauce. That's okay. I'm fine with that. It's just exciting to know where TCL might be going in the coming years. I mean, we're here at CES 2022, but I feel like we're already seeing CES 2023. Now, the last thing I need to talk to you about, and don't go anywhere because this is really important, especially for those of you who like to give me a hard time about my hate for motion smoothing software in TVs. There is a company out there called Pixelworks that has developed a new TrueCut Motion technology. It is an end-to-end solution. So think like Dolby Vision, which is an end-to-end solution for brightness and color in HDR. TrueCut Motion is actually an end-to-end solution for motion. It is somewhere between that nauseating soap opera effect that I hate and the perfectly reproduced 24 frame per second cinema content that a lot of you don't like. Why? Because it introduces a ton of judder and stutter and really bright TVs flash at you. This is something that's like right in the middle. It's like they maintain just enough of the motion blur and the cinematic look, but they get rid of all the artifacts. And it's really impressive. And what's interesting is it doesn't just work to take 24 frame per second content, keep it looking cinematic, but also smooth it out. They can take overly smooth content and bring it back and make it look a little more cinematic. I think this is a great idea. Now, the thing here is that TCL is announcing a partnership in support of Pixelworks' TrueCut Motion. This is something that other TV manufacturers could pick up on if they want to, but since it is an end-to-end deal, what they need to do is get Hollywood involved and use this technology in the same way that they're using Dolby Vision. When they color grade something, they can also motion grade something. That's a little extra tidbit that I just don't think you're gonna hear a whole lot about from other publications. This is a next generation TV technology that we're gonna need to start talking about. You don't just have to frame double everything and make it look like a soap opera. It can look cinematic and smooth at the same time. And that's something that I think will bring us all together, since we all seem to hate each other over this motion issue. That's the money from TCL at CES 2022. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks as always for watching. Leave me a comment down below about what your favorite TCL TV is coming from the big show. Like and subscribe, and here's 2 other videos that I think you'll like.